looky, looky. Ted Cruz. Democrats will parachute Michelle Obama to replace Joe Biden for 2024 election. Haven't I been saying this? No, I know it's kind of crazy because multiple times over the past few years, Michelle Obama has said she would not run when asked by various people. She said, yeah, I don't have a political background. I'm not going to run. I don't want to do that. But the Democrats are losing. They're losing very bad. Either Ted Cruz has gotten some insider information or he's been watching my videos. He also said that the former Barack Obama is the puppet master running the Biden administration. I think a lot of you guys have been saying that as well for the past 3 years now. So on Monday, Cruz discussed the possibility that Biden will not be the nominee for the Democrat Party. I've been saying this, for a while now, in the upcoming election on his podcast. Okay, so the podcast is named Verdict with Ted Cruz if you want to go watch it. But he said that the odds of such a scenario have risen significantly because Democrats are now nervous, and they are. They're trembling. And I guess Joe Biden has already stated he would not be running again with Kamala Harris, which has caused a lot of discontent with a lot of Democrats as well. So, as well as, ongoing investigations, criminal activities, and a lot of Americans are believing it now. So they're looking at polling numbers that show 2/3 of Americans think that he's too old to be president. They're getting nervous about all the evidence in the Biden crime syndicate. You got Hunter Biden indicted. You've got all the connections to Joe. And then, that we've seen in the past few weeks that the media's been actually reporting. The emails have came out that he has 2 secret email accounts. And Ted Cruz goes on and says, remember the role of the media. Sadly, they're no longer journalists. They no longer report news, he added. They are the left-wing operation of the Democrat Party. And when the media turns on the presumed Democrat nominee, I think that there's a cutting edge of Democrat intelligence saying we may have to cut bait and find someone new. Ted Cruz also said if by the time the Democrat National Convention in August, Biden's mental diminishment worsens, it becomes obvious to anyone that he can't find the shoes, and Democrats begin worrying. The event will serve as an opportunity to parachute replacement in. So, yeah, 100%. They're setting this up. They're allowing media to report. I said this, last night? It was last night I said this. I showed clips of the media actually now reporting these things about Joe Biden, that he shouldn't run in 2024. These are left-wing intelligence, right? The media is part of that group, and they publish propaganda. So the fact that they're turning their targets onto Joe Biden, in my opinion, it's a done deal. You're not going to see Joe Biden running for president because he doesn't have a shot in hell to win. Okay. Trump is up in the polls. People that voted for Biden before are wanting to vote for Trump now, which poses a huge problem for them. Because if they were to hold the election next week, Trump would win. Okay. But the big thing, the real big thing about this, and when I heard this yesterday, it was like a light switch. Maybe you hadn't heard about it. Maybe you hadn't put this together. That Joe Biden just released $6 million to Iran for 5 American prisoners, and Iran then said they would spend the money how they see fit. Pretty much a slap in the face to America. While speaking, this is the important part, at the UN General Assembly in New York, the Iranian president vowed that Iran will use all of its tools to hold those responsible for the death of the Iranian commander Soleimani. Sorry, I got some nasal issues. So I'm going to play the clip and let you hear it for yourself.
You seen the 25 million strong funeral of the late commander, General Qasem Soleimani, throughout Iran. Those were censored throughout the world in the West. The terror act terrorist act of his assassination was a prize given to Daesh on a silver platter, whom according to certain American officials had confessed that ISIS was an American creation. His killing, his martyrdom, was a gift to that same ISIS. Instead of recognizing him for his sacrifices, he's assassinated. Why? But the Islamic Republic of Iran, through the use of all tools and capacities in order to bring to justice the perpetrators and all those who had a hand in this government-sanctioned act of terror, will not sit until that is done. The blood of the oppressed will not be forgotten, and the robes of the guilty will bring them to justice.
So yeah, let me. I said 6 million, but I meant 6 billion. Okay. Some of you guys corrected me. Did you hear what he said there? Okay, this to me is kind of a soft launch. Putting this out there, Iran is going to make those who killed Soleimani pay for it. Multiple Trump officials or former Trump officials and their families are still receiving government protection because highly credible threats posed by the Iranian government. Last year, Department of Defense officials confirmed that Iran sought to assassinate multiple former Trump officials, including former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Stephen Mnuchin, Mike Pence, and Donald Trump. What if the $6 billion was hey guys, take care of this for me? Now, I said this a while back. They're going to try to JFK Donald Trump, in my opinion. This is a theory, but the fact of the matter, and I'm going to get to why in a moment, but the Dems have went so far, right? I mean, they're using the Department of Justice as a hit squad, meanwhile covering for the Biden crime syndicate. Biden is doing horrible in the polls. They're going to try everything in the book to pull this off, right? They've gained a tremendous amount of ground in their efforts in the Democrat Party, Barack Obama. They've gained a tremendous amount of ground in their effort. I told you last night we're losing this war. They've gained a ton of ground, ton of territory. And if Trump wins, because he's going to be vindictive, he's already said he was. He said he's going after everyone who went after him. That just for spite, he will send them back to the Stone Age. Okay? He will send the socialist Marxist ideology all the way back. So he allowed, Donald Trump that is, he allowed social media to skirt by. And that hurt him. And I said that to you 4 years ago, whenever it was. Donald Trump was not strong enough on social media. Social media is the new media. Legacy media is dead. People on social media get more views than legacy media. So they're losing there. That's why they have Zuckerberg. Fact checking came out today that he basically admitted his fact checkers were wrong and they were just cultivating narrative. He didn't say it in those words, but essentially that's what he meant. So I don't believe Donald Trump will stand idly by this time. He will put regulations in place to protect the First Amendment. Essentially, he'll do everything against them just for spite. Whether you think he's a good man or not, he's going to go against them. Trust me. Donald Trump is that guy. He is the guy that is a vindictive guy, and he will go after you. Okay? The economy would obviously bounce back better than it has, solidifying future voters. Because all those people that voted for virtue signaling social justice Marxist ideologies will realize, oh, dang, I have more money now. Things are cheaper. Because they weren't paying attention before. They weren't. They just believed CNN talking about those mean tweets. That's what they voted for. But whenever because they're aware now of what's going on, and when they realize that life is more affordable, I have more money in my pocket, gas is cheaper, food's cheaper, I can actually go buy stuff now, it'll solidify future votes. And it will destroy that Democrat forever they're trying to do. Now, they're trying to infiltrate the border and get these illegal immigrants to be able to vote. Make no mistake, that's what they're trying to do. And if you look at all the voices out there right now, right? Look at all the big names. Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate, Nelk. And I'm bringing up Nelk because there's big guys on YouTube. And they have the younger generation. Logan Paul, also another one. Younger generation followers. Dana White. MMA is the biggest sport in the world right now. Patrick Bet David, sorry. Financial guy who a lot of people respect. When you have these people, this is the thing I talk about right here. Whether you like any of these guys or not, and I'm not saying I agree with everything every one of them says, but the deal is they have voices. And you don't understand really how strong people's voices are, especially people that are kind of like out in the middle of the world, that they have followers on both sides of the fence. When you have these type of male dominant figures that are red-pilled now, they're going to have people that will emulate them, that look up to them, whatever voting side of the fence, they're going to change their mind. And you may say that's not true. I've seen it myself. I've seen people that I know, personally know, that hated Donald Trump, that are red-pilled because they follow those guys right there. 100%. Because what you need is male dominant voices speaking the truth. And of course, they're going after all these guys, Elon, Andrew Tate. They're probably going to go after Patrick Bet David somehow. They're going after Russell Brand now. They just went after Tom Ballard, the guy from the movie Sound of Freedom. They're going after him now, using the rap and spin, I think is what it's called. The technique I talked about, Nancy Pelosi, I showed last night, her talking about the rap and smear. And if you didn't see that video, go watch the Russell Brand video. I know some people probably skipped over Russell Brand. There's so much information in that video you missed because you just thought it was something about Russell Brand. I was showing what the rap and smear was coming out of Nancy Pelosi's mouth. Doing it to Tom Ballard, that's what they do. They do the rap and smear. So they're going to do these other guys as well. I'm sure they're going to get to it. Just hadn't happened yet. But when you have all these dominant voices changing the culture, and that's what you need. I don't have to agree with all these guys. I'm just looking for allies. We're looking for allies to win this war, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's how it works. That's how this game works. You know, if you take two sides, right? Democrats, Republicans, and imagine we're in combat and we're fighting each other. Don't you want to have more guys on your side, whether if you believe with everything they say or not, whether they're filming a video with their shirt off up to here and you unsubscribe because that offended you? It's dumb. We got to get more people on the side to overcome this. We got to become the louder voice. See, the silent majority mentality has lost over years and years and years and years. Because the leftists, they were fine with it. They were fine being loud. They were sneaking into positions of authority like schools, college professors, running for county councils. Meanwhile, the silent majority just sat there because we're the majority at this point in time. Well, now you're the minority. So how we have to do this is in this manner. But again, Donald Trump is their biggest threat, whether you like the guy or not. You don't have to like him. But if Joe Biden remains president, or any leftist, Democrat, Marxist, the country's not going to last. I promise you. It's going to run into socialism and communism. If you notice, every time a dip happens, okay, the pandemic, boom, take your rights away a little bit. Okay, shooting, Las Vegas, take some rights away. Oh, this happens, take your rights away. Until you're so desensitized to it that you don't have any rights anymore. The other video, I mean, these were great videos last night. They didn't get a lot of views, I guess, because they weren't polarizing. You know, that people complain about the clickbait thumbnails, but you don't watch the videos. They were great information. Talking about 1984. And if you didn't watch the video, watch it. I broke down so much information there. It's the same thing, where we have a destruction of our culture to rebuild a new one. And that's where we're at. That's what they're doing. They're trying to destroy our culture Destroy the founding fathers. Oh, they own slaves. They're racist. Destroy them. Well, why is that important? Let's remove their statues. Let's take off the dollar bill. Oh, yeah, Francis Scott Key, he owned slaves. Get rid of the national anthem. Get rid of all these things. So then, oh, those racist guys wrote the Constitution. Let's change that too, because they're racist. This is how it works. By demonizing individuals. The same thing happened in the freaking Balkans. And people killed each other over there. They had the same color skin. Didn't care. It was all about ideology. And it's not about skin color, it's about ideology. That's what this is about. It's an ideology war. Good versus evil. So quit getting wrapped up in the nonsense and the visionary tactics that the media tries to use. Because when you're divided, you're easier to control. Think about in your workplace. In your workplace, you probably know a rat there, a snitch, right? Snitches get stitches. But there's a guy there that goes and tattletales to the boss all the time, right? There's always that guy. And what does he do? He destroys and causes division amongst the people. Because even the workplace doesn't want you unified. They don't want a team because you're easier to control as individuals. But then you get a few snitches, a few more, and then everybody, before you know it, everybody's a snitch and snitching on each other. So then who's in complete control? The boss. And that's how this game works. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the topic. If you did not watch 1984 video last night in the Russell Brand, I do encourage you to go do that. There was lots of knowledge drops in that video. And this is the thing. My videos are not like everybody else's because I don't only talk about one thing. I'm not just repeating whatever the topic of the day is. There's multiple things. If you're new here, by the way, I'm telling you this. I do a little bit of different things, and I go back in time. This is what you know about me. I go back in time. I find out what happens in the past because what happens in the past repeats itself in the future every time. That's what I'm talking about. I pull an article from 1990. Oh, dang. How's this relevant today? Oh, it's relevant because history repeats itself. If you don't learn from a history, you'll repeat it. Anyhow, guys, leave a comment. Help me fight these commies trying to suppress us on YouTube like they're trying to do everybody else. Like, share, all that sort of good stuff. Stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Take care.